My name is Vanessa Anderson, and I am the founder and president of ANPR Group. I've been working in PR for 15 years. I think no matter what you do, especially though if you're in any sort of career or job that's creative adjacent, find a way to be inspired. We spend a lot of time on the computer and on our phones, but going outside, getting sun, having the wind blow on your face, seeing kids play, all of those things can be inspirational and can help you, no matter what your career or your job is. I grew up in South LA, Crenshaw and King, with my paternal grandparents. I had no ambition of ever working in entertainment. I actually wanted to be a high school history teacher and went to Columbia, went to school for that. And when I came out of college, I graduated in 2007. The recession was about to hit. It was almost impossible to find a job. I ended up becoming a first grade teacher and totally loved the kids. That was amazing. But, I had just gone from college where I was having these really high level philosophical conversations about life. And then I was sort of surrounded by 30 little people who couldn't read. And I was like, this is too much of a contrast for me. And I knew, I think also that my heart wasn't in it. I was good at it, but I didn't love it. And I said, okay, let me think about what am I good at? What are some of my strengths? I actually ended up reaching out to a family friend who's an entertainment lawyer, and she's actually the person who was like, you should be a publicist. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. What do they do? Do they make any money? Will I be able to pay off my loans? And she was like, maybe you'll make money, you'll pay off your loans in forever, in 20 years. But she was just like, I think this is the perfect career for you. And she was gracious enough to introduce me to someone who was already in the field. And I spoke with that woman, and after that conversation, I remember saying, this is literally what I want to dedicate my life to. I begged her for a paid internship because, bills. And she was like, I can't pay you much. And by pay me much, it was literally gas money, but it was something. It was a really great experience because she really did teach me all the fundamentals. Some of the things that I learned, in her home office in the Valley are things that I still incorporate into my work now. I think I also got a front row seat to what it was like to run a business and, how do you run payroll, or just the unsexy parts of entrepreneurship that I don't think a lot of people really talk about. I think the one thing that I also walked away from in that experience too was you really gotta go after it. You really gotta hustle. I always felt in that situation, if I had been in a bit more of a leadership or executive position, I think about how much bigger we could have been at that time. So after there, I was like, the bills are here. The bills are not getting paid. So I was like, I've got to, again, make a pivot and figure out what's the next thing for me. And a practice that I learned in therapy I did therapy for 7 years. I highly encourage everyone to adopt that into their life, was really being able to check in with myself and just say are you happy? Does this bring you joy? Are you fulfilled? If you're not, how can you get yourself to fulfillment? How can you get yourself to joy? And I said, well, I really want to work in music. I've obviously grew up with music in the house, love music. Some of my favorite people in the world were musicians. And I decided instead of going into a label system or maybe working for another big corporation, publishing or something like that, I said, I'll bet on myself and open up this business. So I opened up ANPR Group June 2010. Legally though, my business didn't start until actually my 25th birthday of the same year. A group of my girlfriends got together and put their money together to get me my LegalZoom paperwork and to start my LLC. And I'm so grateful for them because honestly, having people who really don't get it, but are we love you and we support this is really important. And those same group of people are still really close. I'm still really close to them. But, the beginning was struggle. It was, baby. Because, I didn't really properly plan, so it's not like I had, saved up, hundreds of thousands or even $100,000 to be able to support myself or sustain myself. I really had to just say, okay, I've been broke before. I've been a college student before. I know how to make money stretch. And then on the other side, I'd only been in PR for like 2 years. And when I made the pivot, even though I didn't go to the label or go work at the label, I still wanted to work in music. But I didn't know any music people. I was like, well, okay, time to get back out here and network and get to know people. And, Twitter was still kind of small, and there was still like community on there in a way. So you could like message artists directly and they would like hit you back because they were actually managing their Twitter accounts. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I can meet some executives or maybe I can meet people in the field. Like, I'll use this platform as my networking tool, as one of my networking tools. And I remember I sent a DM or a private message to one of the women who was in a group called Electric Red that was signed to Def Jam. Her name is Leslie. And I hit her and I said, I love your group. I'm obsessed with your group. I love your music. I love the style. I would love an opportunity to work with you and I'll work for free. She was like, free? Okay, girl, meet us for dinner, meet us for lunch. And they were actually one of my very first clients. Looking back, I know that they knew that I didn't really know what I was doing, but I think that they appreciated that while I didn't have the resources or I didn't maybe have the connections, I did have the capabilities. That experience made me feel like, oh, like this is like a real thing. Like you're actually doing this. Like this is kind of crazy. But even then, like even having them as a client, I was still heavy on my networking. I had a friend who worked in radio. And she was gracious enough to like take me with her as her plus one to a lot of stuff, like a lot of concerts and, events and mixers. And she just was so great about saying, yeah, like come with me. I'm also investing in this dream of yours with you. At the time, I used to give myself this mandate where if I was at an event, I needed to collect, this feels so long ago. But like at the time I'd be like, you gotta leave with 20 cards because people had cards. And I'd be like, you gotta leave with 20 cards. And I would leave with 20 cards and then I would get in the car. And before I would drive off, I would send everybody an email because I was like, hopefully I'll still be top of mind. I'll thank them for their time and I'll invite them out for coffee. But that was how I created my network. And that was how I started to know people. And, even now, like some of the people that I do work with and clients that I share with people are people that I met very, 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 very early in my career. At the end of 2011, early 2012, I had the pleasure of meeting Issa Rae. She had a YouTube series called The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl, and she was looking to add a publicist to her team. And I just remember sitting across from her, and I think we both kind of were looking at each other like, girl, you don't know what's really going on. But I think we decided in that moment to really bet on each other and decide to sort of enter into this partnership really together, kind of hoping to uplift each other as we sort of pursue different careers. I remember walking away from that meeting and feeling like, that was really interesting. That was different. I've never felt like that before. I've never met someone like her ever. To this day, I still have not. And quite honestly, she was someone who really inspired me. I was really inspired by what she was trying to do. I felt like it wasn't that much different at the core of what I was doing, right? Which was really betting on yourself and investing in yourself and, not being afraid to kind of go into the void, not really knowing what could be on the other side of it. When I signed Issa, I saw the potential for what my business could be. And that was really, really, really exciting and thrilling. And again, just sort of continuing to like make my mark in the business. I was able to get a contract with Warner Brothers, and I was the publicist for a daytime talk show called The Real. And then from there, I pivoted and went over to TMZ and was working with that PR team. And then after that, Insecure launched. this is a massive moment for Issa in her career. I really want to just like be 10 toes down on this and like give it my all and just blow it out the water. So I stopped working on my TV projects and I said, okay, I'm gonna focus on Issa and my talent business. I felt at the time like the business was validating me, the job was validating me and saying like, good job, you're doing good work, keep going. But I found myself really tired. I found myself like, I was like, ooh girl, is this like what burnout feels like? Like I just, again, checking in with myself. You know, I knew that I still had a passion for the job and I still wanted to do this, but I think the way that I was doing it wasn't sustainable. I was aspiring to be like my peers, and my peers are not people who look like me. My peers are not people even in my age group. You know, I was trying to be like some of the leading PR agencies in entertainment, but they had been around for 20, 30 years. I was, what, 5, 7 years in. And I said, you know, instead of trying to be like these other agencies and do my presentations like them and dress like, you know, oh, I'm a publicist, so I gotta wear black all the time on carpets and whatever that was, I was like, I'm completely rejecting that and I'm gonna be me. And I said, you know, the truth of the matter is that I don't wanna represent everybody. I wanna represent the best of us. And by us, I mean people of color. Like if I'm gonna do this job, if I'm gonna be away from my family, if I'm pouring, you know, literally like every single dollar that I have into this business, like it's gotta be for the betterment of us. For Black women, for Black people, for, you know, Latino people, it has to be for the betterment of us. And over the years, like we've been really blessed to work with who I think are some of the most influential people on the planet. You know, Issa Rae, Hailey Bieber, Cardi B, Amanda Gorman, John Boyega, Shamik Moore, Z-Way, you know, Marseille Martin, Dion Cole, so many people. There's so many people we've been blessed to be able to work with. You know, I always say like my through line for all of our clients is excellence, right? So whether you're a musician or an actress or a writer or a producer, whatever your art is, whatever your thing is that you give to the world, you know, this person does it this company does it at the highest level. You know, over the years, it's so crazy now to think that, you know, there's almost 20 people who work for me, and I'm so lucky to be able to lead such a team of dynamic women. You know, my entire team is women, they're all of color. I take a lot of pride in that. And for me, as much as I have a lot of pride in the work that I've done, and, you know, being able to book talent on covers and, you know, big TV shows and whatnot, my biggest flex, honestly, is that I created a pipeline for women of color to get into the field. Because when I got into PR, there were almost none. And for me, I feel like that's actually my life's work, is creating opportunities for young women, especially women of color, to explore and to find out if this is something they want to do. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. But I feel like that is actually now kind of what I'm here to do. I've always said that like you're only as strong as the team that you have. And with the team that I have and I've been able to cultivate over the years, I really do feel like there is literally nothing that we can't do. Like, I would love for us to represent the Olympics when they come, or, you know, World Cup when they come. Like, why not? Like, everything I think that I've built has been just me saying, truly, fuck it.